Welcome to Ford High School Weekly. I'm your host, Deanna Mate. This week, we're going to try to explain who's going to win the 6A championships. Then, we'll revisit our conversation with Ethan Rolen about why you should think about becoming a football official. But first, we have some playoff highlights for you. The Broken Arrow Tigers met the newly christened Union Redhawks in the 6A1 semifinals at Owasso. Not much scoring early. Midway through the second quarter, third and go at the BA6, Union drove on Banks, cuts up through the Tigers' defense to score. But holding would call it back, and the Redhawks would end up getting a 32-yard field goal from Tyler Cowan. Union led 3-0 at the half. Things picked up in the second half. Union's first possession at their own 42, Rovon Banks finds Gino Boyd. That would cover 43 yards to the Broken Arrow 15. A few plays later, tight end Lane Wood took the snap, pitched it to Junior Smith, and Smith got the corner of the end zone. Union would lead 10-0 with less than 8 minutes left in the third quarter. After the kickoff, BA started at their own 22. On first down, Marion Horn would run for 6 yards. On the second down, he would run for 6 points. 72 yards to the house, and the Tigers were on the board, making it 10-7 just 41 seconds later. Union punted on their next possession, and Broken Arrow drove to the Union 4. Facing 4th and 1, Josh Blankenship decides to go for it. Union stuck to Marion Horn to snuff out that threat. Again, Union was forced to punt. On 2nd and 19 at the Union 39, quarterback Sterling Ramsey found R.J. Spears-Jennings in the end zone to put the Tigers up 14-10 with 8 minutes and 9 seconds left in the game. Man, what a pass. 5 plays later, Union at the BA 39. It would be Banks to Boyd again, this time splitting the Broken Arrow defense, and Boyd scored easily to put the Redhawks back up on top 17-14 with 6 minutes and 9 seconds left in the game. First play after the kickoff, BA's Ramsey with a backward pass to Griffin Stieber. Stieber's pass was tipped by BA's Caleb Young and then by Union's Jenkins to R.J. Spears-Jennings, who raced to the end zone to put BA back on top just like that. But wait, the Tigers had an ineligible man downfield. Broken Arrow would end up punting, and Union ran out the clock to clinch their spot in the 6A1 finals against Jinx with a 17-14 win over Broken Arrow.
Good job, guys. It feels awesome. I'm so proud of our kids. Everybody's been through a lot, but man, the people I know that have been through a lot are these kids right here. These seniors. Couldn't be more proud of them. Couldn't be more proud of their perseverance, the things they've done these last 3 years. So impressed with them, come so far, and hats off to Broken Arrow. They did a great job. Had a great, just a great game. I mean, it's a shame that we can't do this every week, right?
I agree, Coach Fred. I'd watch a game like that every day. Now we know who's going to be in the final of 6A1 and 6A2. Michael Knight and I will get you straight on those matchups when Ford High School Weekly continues.
Billy Sims Barbecue. It's not just barbecue, it's Boomercue.
Our Billy Sims Barbecue running back of the week is Union's own Junior Smith. Junior had 20 carries for 89 yards and 1 touchdown, 124 all-purpose yards, including some late runs to help the Union Redhawks milk the clock and clinch the 17-14 win over Broken Arrow in the 6A1 semifinal. Junior Smith is the Billy Sims Barbecue running back of the week. Welcome back to Ford High School Weekly. I'm Deanna Mate. Oklahoma Prep Red Zone's own Michael Knight is here. Michael, where were you on Friday?
The Oklahoma City metro area, I guess I could say. I went out to 3 different games on Friday night. I started south of OKC at Washington, and they looked outstanding against Jones, holding their high-powered offense to just 21 points, and they ran up and down the field on them. So Washington, my top-ranked team in Class 2A, they're looking the part, looking like they might make another trip back to Edmond for the state title game. Then I went up to Cashion to check out some small school football. 2 great teams, Cashion, Hooker. Cashin's defense really stood out to me, holding Hooker's passing attack, their offense, to I think about 6 points. I don't think they got into double digits. Cashin absolutely rolled there. And then I finished the evening at Crossings Christian, checking out some more small school football. Just wanted to make a trip around the Oklahoma City area, seeing some of the smaller schools that I haven't seen this year.
Let's go ahead and start talking about this 6A matchup that everybody seems to be so intrigued by. I mean, it looks like this week everybody's going to get a break before that state championship game. But let's talk about the semi-action. So what'd you think of everything?
Yeah, obviously something that really stands out is 6A1 and how close those two semifinals were. Not necessarily that Union and Broken Arrow was close. I mean, that you knew that game was going to be competitive, Union getting the win there, but I don't think anybody's expected Mustang to be within a field goal of beating Jinx. But the Trojans able to survive and advance, and at this point of the year, that's all the playoffs are, just whatever you have to do to get a win. But that certainly surprised some people. And then in 6A2, Deer Creek coming back to win. Their quarterback, Brett Pence, leading a drive, scoring the go-ahead touchdown with about 2 minutes left to punch Deer Creek's ticket to the state championship game. Again, that was a semifinal between Deer Creek and Sand Springs where nobody expected back in August either one of those teams to be playing in the 6A2 state championship game, but yet here we are. And then on the other side of the bracket, of course, the Bixby Spartans rolling. They made quick work of the Stillwater Pioneers, and they've now tied the state record with 48 consecutive wins, and they go for 49 and a gold ball here in a couple weeks against Deer Creek. So Jinx Union, 6A1 championship, obviously out of the two there. That's the marquee title game. It'll take place Saturday afternoon on December 4th. And then Bixby Deer Creek. Can Deer Creek be a giant killer? I mean, that's the biggest headline. Or does Bixby make history on December 2nd at 7 p.m., a Thursday night kick for the 6A2 title game?
With everybody looking at Deer Creek and thinking, hey, first of all, how'd you get here? And second of all, what can you do with this Bixby team? Is there something, because they're not familiar with each other, is there something that Deer Creek can do to kind of, shock maybe the world and steal a state championship away from the Bixby Spartans?
Well, I mean, I think at this point it would be shocking to the world. I mean, with how dominant Bixby is, and everybody just kind of assuming it's not if Bixby's going to win, it's by how much. So I think that, Deer Creek, they're in a position where, look, I mean, they don't have anything to lose. Like, if they get blown out, who cares? Like, everybody has this year against Bixby. So I'm not sure what they can do. I mean, I've tried to think of ways that somebody might be able to contend with Bixby this year, and all they do is beat teams by an average of 50 points this season. So, for Deer Creek, I think that, I looked back at my preseason rankings back in July, and this just goes to show how much preseason rankings are worth. I didn't even have Deer Creek in my top 10 in 6A2. So for the fact that they made it, from unranked in the preseason and low in other preseason rankings to all the way to the state championship game, I mean, if you're a Deer Creek fan, you're playing with house money at this point. Go to Edmond, try to get a state championship. Whatever happens, happens. This has been an outstanding season for the Deer Creek Antlers.
Yeah, certainly kind of in their favor if you think about it. They are the hot team right now with everything going their way, and kind of a home game for them with it being in Edmond, with them being, in Edmond. That's got to be to their advantage.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume that they're going to pack the house. I mean, if you're a Deer Creek fan, alum, whatever, if you're still in the Edmond area, I got to think that, the Antlers are going to have plenty of support there. And honestly, we hear about this all the time. There might be some just high school football fans that are tired of Bixby winning everything, so they might be there pulling for Deer Creek as well. So, Deer Creek will certainly, feel like a home field advantage team, but then again, I mean, we know what they're going up against. I mean, they're going up against a titan at this point. And so it'll be interesting.
Well, Michael, if they want to find you and those guys over there at Prep Red Zone, where do they do it?
Just check us out, prepredzone.com/Oklahoma. We got a ton of championship preview content coming, not only for 6A1 and 6A2, but 5A, 4A, 3A. They're getting down to it as well. We're going to have a ton of championship content leading up to those state title games in the first weekend of December. So check us out at prepredzone.com/Oklahoma. And as always, save 25% when you subscribe by using the coupon code NIGHT25. That'll save you 25% off your subscription. Check out all of our championship coverage and stick with us throughout the month of December. We'll have plenty of postseason coverage as well.
If you love football, Ethan Rolen of the Greater Tulsa Officials Association has an opportunity for you. Next on Ford High School Weekly. Welcome back to Ford High School Weekly. I'm Deon Amade. We have a special guest for you guys. I'm talking with Ethan Rolen, the guy who's the man over there for the Greater Tulsa Officials Association, Mr. President himself. How's it going, Ethan?
Good, Deon. How are you today?
Not too bad, not too bad. So first, before we get into everything, what is the Greater Tulsa Officials Association?
So the Greater Tulsa Officials Association is we focus on football. We're the football officiating arm for Northeast Oklahoma. Basically, we serve 74 different schools around the area, and basically we contract with schools to supply them with football officials every Friday night, from scrimmages all the way through the regular season. And then when the playoffs start, the OSSAA takes over the assignment process. But during the season, the GTOA is in charge of making sure schools have officials to cover their games.
Well, we appreciate you bringing those officials over, because without you guys, we couldn't play the game that we love.
Sure, it's fun. It's a challenge, but it's a lot of fun, and it's good work. We have a good time with it.
I imagine so. We'll get into a little bit about that, but before we get into like the hard-hitting questions about officiating and everything you guys do over there, I want to kind of get some background information about you. So tell me a little bit about how you grew up and how you got your love for sports.
Yeah, so I grew up in Texas, small town Texas, back in the 80s, and I played high school football just like a lot of different guys did. I was not good enough or talented enough to go to the next level. But the love of football, the desire to be involved with football never left me. It never changed. And then as I got older, I figured out, I moved to Oklahoma, got married, and moved up here to Tulsa. And when we got here to Tulsa, I said, you know what? I think I can still be involved in football. I'm not a coach, I'm not a player, but I can officiate. I've always been interested in the rules and the things behind the scenes look of football. So I started looking for how to get involved with officiating. Basically, I had a friend that I knew did some officiating, and I just called him out of the blue and said, hey, how can I get started and where do I begin? And that was back in the year 2000. And I've been actively officiating for 21 years now. And it just gets better and better. And I've done small college, I've done Division II college, I've done high school, I've done many different levels. I've done third graders all the way up through, like I said, college kids. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, but man, if you have a passion for football and want to stay involved, but you can't play it or coach it, this is a great way to do it.
All right, let's go back a little bit. You said you played the game. What position were you at when you were growing up?
Well, I was a wide receiver and strong safety. Played both ways most of the time. I played, like I said, at small school, so we had to go both ways a lot because we just didn't have enough guys. So I played strong safety and tight end, wide receiver a lot. And my earliest memories, really, and I had two older brothers that also played football, and my earliest memories as a child were going to the game on Friday night and watching my big brothers play football, and watching them, and those guys are your heroes. My brothers are my heroes, and I would watch them do that, and I would be so impressed with it, and I just fell in love with it. And ever since then, it's been the same thing. I just love the game. I love the competition. I love the brotherhood. I love the camaraderie that comes from it. And that started, like I said, at a very early age. And here I am, 53 years old now, and it's still there. Still passionate about it.
Man, it's funny that you said you played safety. We had an opportunity to talk with Cameron from the Oklahoman, and he said he was a former official and he played safety in high school as well. And I'm a former safety. So it does that kind of, because you know how we line up. We're in the back of the defense with the last line of defense, and we can see everything. How does that work with being an official? Did you kind of use your safety expertise in that world as well?
You can. It does help out that you've had that, or that I've had that experience, because as an official, you have to have a very wide viewpoint. You have to be wide and still as long as you can, and focus on the things you need to focus on. There's 22 of them. There's only 5 of us, so we have to stay focused, very focused on the things we need to watch, and we. As officials, we also have to read the play. It's 3rd and 8. What do we expect from them? What would we expect the team to do on 3rd and 8 or 4th and 1? We have to, and then we too have to read the offensive line. What are they doing? How are they blocking? What does that lead us to believe? And the plays coming at us. So you don't have to have experience playing the game to officiate. There's a lot of officials that never played the game that are really, really good. But from my perspective and from what I've been doing, it has helped me to know that to have that experience as a player as well.
When we come back, we'll talk about more about what it takes to be an official for the Greater Tulsa Officials Association here on Ford High School Weekly. Welcome back to Ford High School Weekly. I'm talking with the man who you need to know if you want to become an official, Ethan Rolen. Ethan, now I phrase that and I say that because there's so many people that are interested and wanting to be a part of the game, and you kind of have the instructions on how you get that done. So if people want to become an official after they listen to you and have seen all the things that take place on Friday nights, how do they get that done?
Yeah, thank you for that question, Dion, because we need officials. We need guys and gals who are interested and ready to officiate. It used to be a guys only thing, but now there's women in the NFL. There's women at Division I college. There's women who are doing high school football. So we need people to help us. So the best way to get involved with that is go to TulsaOfficials.com. TulsaOfficials.com is our website. On that website, you can find my contact information. You can find my email, phone number, anything like that, and I'm happy to help you get involved. The best time to do that, here's some of them, because a lot of people think around, August, September, they think, it might be fun to officiate. Well, that's not the time to get started. The time to get started in officiating is probably about February. Football officiating is probably about February. If you reach out to us around that time frame, February, March time frame, that's about when we start our training for the next season. We have a clinic in May that you really, if you're going to get involved, you really need to go to. It's a huge officiating clinic. We have NFL guys come down and teach us. We have college guys come in and teach us. We have coaches come in and talk to us. We have state representatives, all over, officiating representatives come in and discuss things with us. We get out on the field. We work some of the spring scrimmages. And that's kind of our introduction to it. And then we start our meetings in July for officiating. And we have 8 local meetings. You have to attend 4 of them. If you're a new official, we prefer you to come as many as you possibly can. But we have 8 local meetings you come to. That's part of training, part of getting involved. Then we have a state meeting. We help you through the rules test, get you involved. And once you're all signed up and everything's ready to go, everything is good. We have a special going, and I hate to say that because I'm not a salesman, but if you come in the first year and you officiate that first year, when you come back your second year, we'll pay for your dues. When you return for year 2, we'll pay for your dues. We'll pay for you to get started. You'll have to buy your own uniforms and stuff like that. But we'll pay your dues in your second year as an official, because we need people to help, and we're desperate. This last week 10 of this season, we barely had enough officials to get through the week, and so we need people to help.
So I know you said you're not a salesman, but for the people who are on the fence about if they want to decide to do this or be a part of this, why should they become an official?
That's an easy question for me to answer. If you're passionate about the game, if you love the game of football, if you want to be around the game again after maybe you've played high school ball or you've played college ball, it's just not out of your system yet. They're just still part of you. You can still get that feeling. You can still get that camaraderie. Yeah, you're not going to get the contact and you're not going to be a football player or a coach. But what you are going to be is you're going to be there. You're going to be on the field on Friday nights. You're going to be part of the lights, part of the national anthem that puts chills down your back, even when you're not playing the game. You're going to meet your best friends in the world, because when you're in a Union High School stadium and there's 10,000 people there, there's 2 teams and there's 5 of you. Nobody's there for you. The only 5 guys on that field that your families may be there, but we're all we've got. And it's almost, you hate comparing football to battle because it's so completely different. But at the same time, it's almost like going to battle with your guys and hanging in there and doing what's right and supporting each other through the hard times and enjoying the good times together. There's nothing like you getting a call from the state says, hey, you guys have been assigned a state championship. And it's something you've worked for years and years and years. There's nothing like that moment of celebration that you can have with your buddies and then go out and work. So it's all those same types of feelings, those same types of moments. It's just now you have to keep your emotions under control a lot more.
Man, you said you're not a salesman, but you're almost making me want to go put on the white and black and root on.
Come on, we'll take you. I guarantee you, we'll put you to work.
I would love to, man. Maybe I should come to a couple of those clinics and really see what you guys have to put up with.
Love to have you. Absolutely. Yes.
Well, Ethan, thank you so much for joining us this evening. It was a pleasure having you, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the future.
Great. Thank you very much. It was a great time.
If you might be interested in becoming an official, check in with Ethan Rolen. You might be in for the experience of a lifetime. Only the best in Oklahoma, like the folks that officiate our games, make it to Ford High School Weekly. So thank you for watching, and until next time, I'm Deanna Amati.
Ford High School Weekly has been brought to you by your Oklahoma Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Oklahoma. And by Rib Crib, smoking good stuff since '92.